So we're out here on Armenia Avenue, just south of Bush Boulevard. And I just wanted to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly about this corridor. This corridor goes through a lot of different kind of neighborhoods. For example, this road just came out of the Forest Hills neighborhood, which is kind of a middle class, working class kind of neighborhood. And it travels over some railroad tracks, and which are at Bush Boulevard, and then it's in this area here near Waters Avenue. There are a lot more old apartments in this immediate area here. This area also has somewhat of a rundown ambiance, but it is a corridor with a lot of potential and opportunity, I think. So a lot of communities want to have these pedestrian-friendly complete streets, as they call it, with nice sidewalks, and they'll develop these areas in newer areas and have like a town center type of a atmosphere, and they'll hope that businesses choose to move into those areas. Well, this neighborhood here has a lot of the elements that they're looking for already, except that the road itself is in horrible shape. There are a lot of businesses, a lot of small businesses, restaurants, retail shops, all kinds of places here. And it also has somewhat of an international flair to it. There's Asian businesses, a lot of Hispanic businesses from a lot of different countries like Colombia, Cuba, Venezuela, Peru, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Honduras, many other locations in Latin America. I feel this could be a very special place in Tampa and could become well known. It just needs a lot of work, sidewalks, street trees, just nice pedestrian amenities throughout this whole area here. We are in the city of Tampa here. And the city of Tampa for the past 20 years or so has been very focused on downtown Tampa, which is totally understandable. That's kind of the living room of the community. And at this point, they have spread out to some adjacent areas with their investments. North Hyde Park and Ybor City somewhat. Hopefully they will make their way over to West Tampa and this area, which is referred to sometimes as Lato and Egypt Lake. I do feel that code enforcement is also an issue here. Generally speaking, signage for the different businesses need to be up to code, and the buildings themselves need to be up to code. So this section all the way down to Hillsborough Avenue has a lot of these small businesses that are primarily focused on the Hispanic community. And as you can see, past Sly Avenue, the road has widened, so we do have 2 lanes going each direction. However, one thing that you find a lot on older roads, not just in Tampa, but any older community, is you'll have these 4-lane roads with just 2 yellow stripes down the center to keep opposite lanes of traffic separated. A little on the dangerous side, plus it's a little difficult to make those left turns because you have to block traffic and wait for your turn, whereas when there's a median with a break in the median, you're not blocking traffic. Or if they have those lanes that are reversible lanes, I mean, you can make turns from either direction. They're a little dangerous, but still, I think they work better than a situation like this. Now we passed over Hillsborough Avenue, and so in this section there's a few things like the skating rink and there's a bowling alley, but you're also starting to see a lot more medical offices. And the reason for that is that to the right, about 4 blocks over, is Havana Avenue, which at the corner of Havana and Martin Luther King is one of the major hospitals in this area, which is St. Joseph's Hospital, the main hospital for St. Joseph's. And so you have a lot of the doctor's offices surrounding that hospital, and they even are over here on Armenia. So you're going to see a few more of those type of offices. And as far as the neighborhood here, to the left is a neighborhood called Wellswood, and that one is a bit nice. It's kind of middle class, I would say. And to the right, there's a few houses over there between Armenia and Havana, and they're kind of working class type, decent neighborhoods. So you have some office buildings, bank buildings, which have some medical offices in them as well. Now, if you go to the right on Martin Luther King, you will end up over by the Tampa Stadium, which is the Raymond James Stadium where the Buccaneers play. And it eventually runs into the airport area over by the cargo facilities. Now, continuing south here, the Hillsborough River is to the left about 5 or 6 blocks, and it kind of gets close to us at this light here, but then it kind of veers off to the left further as it heads toward downtown. Now at this light, this is Tampa Bay Boulevard, and Armenia splits. And what I mean is we're on Armenia right here, heading southbound, but it's one-way southbound. The northbound lanes are now to the left, of course, and they travel along Howard Avenue. Now, eventually, Armenia will join Howard Avenue as the one corridor that goes both north and south. It'll just be a regular 2-lane road at that point. But here we are in the historic West Tampa district, and as you just saw, there was a cigar factory, probably built around the 1900 turn of the century. Here we're at Columbus Avenue. So past Columbus Avenue, you're going to start to see some older buildings, and unfortunately, some of these older buildings are dilapidated. However, since they are historic, they kind of get a pass. However, I still wish that the homeowners were able to get them fixed up. I don't know, if there's some kind of program or something, but dilapidated buildings in general can bring the neighborhood down. And Tampa has so many historic buildings that if they were all fixed up, it would possibly rival places like Savannah, Georgia. I mean, there are so many of these historic buildings. It's just that at least half of them are not in great shape. So here we are getting closer to downtown West Tampa, which, by the way, used to be its own city, separate from the city of Tampa, way back around 1910 or so. And here on the right is another cigar factory. There was somewhat of a rivalry between West Tampa and Ybor City as far as their cigar factories, because they both had a significant amount of those factories. Now, something interesting about Armenia Avenue is that the original name was not Armenia. It was Armina, A-R-M-I-N-A. And that was named after a cigar factory. But somewhere along the line, a long time ago, somebody added the E in there, and it became Armenia. So 275 that we just passed under at that point is an east-west road between downtown Tampa out toward the bay, crossing over to St. Petersburg. We are getting into an area that has a lot more development. And this is close to the North Hyde Park area. And that's kind of an up and coming area, a lot of new construction for apartments and condos. And this is like the edge of that to the west of that. So it's kind of, affecting this area as well in a positive way. So we are approaching the main east-west boulevard out of downtown Tampa, which again is on the left. And it's Kennedy Boulevard. Kennedy Boulevard goes from downtown Tampa all the way out to the West Shore area. So here, we are crossing several streets that go into downtown Tampa. And actually one of them is Cleveland and the other is Platte. And they are one-way streets as well. And then on that section right back there, that block back there, we were on both kind of a east-west corridor and a north-south corridor at the same time. Kind of interesting. But anyway, now we have turned left and we are heading over to Howard Avenue to continue our travels to the south. And now we are in a district or neighborhood called Soho. And it's not named Soho after New York or London or anything cool like that. It's named Soho because it's south, Howard Avenue. However, it is one of the more trendy, I guess, kind of places where the young people hang out. And there are some bars and a lot of restaurants. Some of the restaurants are very nice. And these apartment buildings on the left, this one, and there's one up ahead, those are relatively new, like 10 to 15 years old. But there are a lot of great restaurants down here. There's one in particular on the right called Daily Eats, which is a great diner experience. And there's a lot of others that I haven't been to, but they seem to be very popular. Now to the left here, several blocks, is a place called Hyde Park Village. And Hyde Park Village is kind of an outdoor mall. However, it has historic roots because it was a commercial district, a very small commercial district, and someone bought up several blocks. And now that area is managed altogether. By the way, if you have Capital One, they have a Capital One cafe. So it's very trendy and it's a bit upscale and cohesive. Now, the area we're in right now is Burns Steakhouse area. To the right is the Epicurean Hotel, which is all culinary-based lodging somehow. And Burns Steakhouse is a very unassuming building with no windows, and we passed that a bit ago there. This is a very nice area. A lot of young ladies, especially high schoolers, college age, they love to come out down here and dress up and take Instagram pictures and so forth. There's some nice fountains and lots of good photo opportunities for anybody, really. So as you can see up ahead is the bay. It's technically the Hillsborough Bay, which is part of the Tampa Bay estuary. And here we are at Bayshore Boulevard, which is one of Tampa's most famous landmarks. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Have a great day. God bless.